Airbnb released in October. Here's the nugget for listeners.
Yeah.
Released, I think it was October, something about the cancellation policy.
Yep.
Well, anybody who kept a strict cancellation policy, that is going to affect your algorithm. I'm not saying you have to go to the loosest cancellation policy, but maybe go one step lower, and it's actually going to get you more exposure.
Wow.
Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott. I'm excited to be with you guys today. We got Dan in the house, not physically in the house, but we are doing this virtual. Originally from Boston, but lives in South Carolina. Started investing in real estate 2005, done a bunch of fix and flips, and has a team of real estate agents focusing the last year and a half on more rev management for short-term rentals, and has about 150 units under management nationwide and even out of the country, which is pretty cool. So excited to have you here today, Dan. How's everything going, man?
I appreciate you, Brandon. Excited to be here. And man, you got my mind going. You said sharing is caring. Yeah. Do you know how many times I have a 4-year-old daughter? How many times a day she's like, Daddy, can I have a piece of your protein bar? Sharing is caring. So
come on. It resonates,
right? A lot. Yeah.
Let's go. Brother, anybody that doesn't know who you are, where you're from, your background in real estate and in life, do you mind just sharing a little bit about who you are and your background for the listeners?
100%. Yeah. Dan Rivers, originally from Brockton, Mass, south of Boston.
You got the accent. I love it. Just a little bit.
Come out. Yeah. It'll come out depending on how passionate I get.
Yeah.
But I like to tell everybody, I'm a dad and husband first. I mean, I'm all about living my life by design and having that life that I enjoy, my time freedom, and more importantly, my headspace freedom. That's kind of my philosophy. So everything I do in life, is it bettering myself? Is it, Dan Martell said, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no. And I've been really trying to live that lifestyle lately. So a little bit about who I am. Yeah, I love it, who I am. But yeah, I've been in real estate since 2005 down in Tampa, Florida. Used to manage high-rise condominiums on the beach. Went back up to Boston, did that for about 12 years. Moved to Charleston in 2018 with my now wife, at that point girlfriend. And I built a life down here and got my real estate license, started selling, started investing, started flipping. I did everything just like everybody did. And 2019 to 23, everybody's like, oh, look at this. I'm going to try this now. I'm going to try this now.
And everybody's making money, right? It's all gravy. It's amazing.
I did fine tune my skills. I'm not going to lie to that, but obviously I got lucky with some of the market on some of the risk I took. But hey, that's all part of investing, right? Timing matters. But yeah, so about 18 months ago, the word of the year this year's focus. And I was starting to say, hey, I'm doing too many things and I'm doing a lot of them pretty good. But you know what? It's time to be great. I want to just be great. So I stopped flipping, stopped doing a lot of my other activities, and I solely focus on, I got real estate sales team that can handle that. I focus on Synergy Stays, which is our short-term rental revenue management company.
Cool.
My partner is an absolute genius in this. He's been doing it for 10 years. Our team's really well-versed in it, and it's something I believe in. I can scale it, do it anywhere in the world, and have fun doing it. So yeah, that's my story.
I love it. You also, and if you don't mind sharing, I know this is more personal, but I think you mentioned have a heart valve, right?
Yeah, mechanical heart valve.
So talk to me about that. What is that? Trials, tribulations along the way. How does that come about, and how does that affect the day to day?
Yeah, I think it definitely shapes my mindset. This guy, Ben Newman, one of my coach, talks about your burn all day long. And if you really have a burn and that drive and desire to be successful, you're going to have it. So it got me really thinking, what is that burn? And in 1996, when I was 16, I sprained my ankle playing football. They picked up a murmur. Within a few months, I had my first open heart surgery.
Wow.
And then 16 years old. Yep. And created a lot of emotions. Let me just say, I went to dark places, had a really fun, it took me years to find myself after that.
Come on.
But the good thing about it is, after I grew out of, a certain phase of my life, by 29 years old, I had to have heart surgery again, and they replaced it with a mechanical valve. So fun fact, you can hear me tick.
I mean,
not the greatest at the airport, but yeah, that's just free.
oh man, amen. That's funny. I love that. That's good humor. I love it. So good.
But it's given me that outlook on life of like, I'm not afraid to go for it. I'm not afraid to go big. I'm not afraid to build something amazing.
Come on.
Why not? We live one life. I should be gone right now. The fact that I'm still alive is something amazing. So it just gives me that motivation, that burn.
Man, I love it. I can tell that you invest highly into yourself, and you can just tell. You can just catch the atmosphere when somebody isn't going to settle for less. They've already drawn the line in the sand. They've already said enough is enough. Like, I'm going to play full out. We only get this one life. And so talk to me about mindset for a second. And I don't talk about mindset too much, but I can tell, like, you've obviously invested a lot into yourself and focused on mindset. And I think there's a lot of people out there that they get, majority of the world, they really get held back from the stinking thinking mindset and fear that consumes them versus them playing full out.
Yeah. I mean, I love talking mindset, so we can go all day long on these things, but I think you mentioned the word fear. Everybody has a fear. They have a fear of failure, fear of success, or fear of basically what other people think of them, which is probably the biggest fear right now. And I have that fear. But I tell my daughter, one of her affirmations are, I'm brave even when I'm scared, and I do hard things to help me grow. Yeah. And like, it's funny, like, this is what I'm teaching my 4-year-old, but I have to remind myself that as well. Like, do the hard things, be a little afraid of stuff, because you know what? On the other side of that, when you accomplish it, and most likely if you're like me, you're going to fail a ton. But once you get through all those failures and you accomplish something, it is the best feeling when I know I built something, or I did this because I overcame a mindset that was telling me not to do it, and friends or family that told me I can't do something.
Yeah.
And then I overcome and do it. I think what I tell anybody that asks me about success is just go for it and try. What is the saying? Like, successful people are just failures that just tried one more time. I mean, it really is the truth. Yeah.
Most of my friends, they failed 30 plus times before they finally hit it. And then everybody thinks it's an overnight success, but they didn't see all the face in the mud, the years before, which I love. I think Zig Ziglar says something like, fear, every single person has it. Successful people have it, get consumed by it, and all the other things. The difference is successful people just don't let that hold them back from keep pushing forward, right?
Yep.
And finishing what they set out to do. And so I think that's such a key piece there that I can just 100%, like, that's part of my testimony of, I got to a point where enough is enough. I'm okay with failing. Like, I'm okay. Just like, I'd rather fail now and get things done and take action, fail forward, at least not live with regret. And I think a lot of people hold themselves back even with that initial step, which sucks at the end.
And one thing that I've implemented over the past year is, not only am I okay with failing, like, any challenge or hardship that comes my way, I'm now thinking it to be part of my world and to come my way. Like, if I don't know, if a flip goes bad, if whatever the case happens, back in the fast, or we have a struggle, I say thank you. It's just a way for me to grow and learn, because you don't learn off wins. You learn off losses. You learn off the pain.
Yes.
So I'm now changed my mentality to whatever happens, I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to hit it head on. I'm going to overcome it. And guess what? Probably in 2 or 3 years, I'm going to forget it even happened.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It like gets you to that next level. You should start getting excited. Like, man, this 6-figure loss right here, I can't, thank you so much, because I can't wait for my $1 million loss, that lesson, so, because then it's next level to the 10 million. There's just different levels to it. I absolutely love that. I think it's a very key ingredient, that mindset, and yeah, just pushing forward.
It's good. Someone told me, on the mindset stuff with this, because I know you probably want to talk about other things too, but I think I love this conversation of, someone had said, you only have to get rich once, as long as you don't screw it up and lose it all. Yeah. But like, you only have to get rich once. So you just keep on, I just keep on swinging and swinging and swinging until you get that one big hit. And then from there, just don't lose it. Just build off of that and progress and be better. So yeah, it's okay if you have all those losses that you built up. Like, all you need is that one big win, and it's all worth it.
Yeah. I actually have a friend that, they were thriving a few years ago and made 20 million a year and did it for a couple of years and made Inc. 500, all types of things, like wild stuff. And the last couple of years has been huge struggles and a lot of a setback. But that information, that knowledge that they've gained to be able to get to that point, that's something you can never take away. Money will always come and go, but that that experience, now they're equipped with doing it again. They know what it looks like. They know how to be able to maneuver through it. And so it's exciting to see that type of mindset and pushing through. And a lot of things, I forget what I believe the percentage is like 95% or something of the negative stinking thinking thoughts that come into our brain. A majority of those never actually take place.
Yep.
And if it did, worst case scenario, how bad could it really be? We're all designed to actually solve problems. So when those problems come up, like, let's just get down to solving problems and identify it. How do we overcome it? So I absolutely love it, man. I think it's very critical and crucial for anybody to succeed is really pushing through that mindset.
Well, and if you're in real estate right now and you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I want to get started, or I just get started and it's been really hard.
Yeah.
This is a very difficult time. So this is just awesome time to build that knowledge, that base. Because if you could win even a little bit right now, when things turn, you're going to win big time. So stay patient. Stay patient.
Yes.
Yep.
That's so good. So talk to me about real estate. You've been doing it for 2025, or sorry, you just started. Just kidding.
Last year.
Yeah. No, so you've been doing it since '05. How was the correction or AKA the crash for you?
It's funny. I was on a different side of things when that crash hit. So we were managing condominiums. So I saw it on some HOAs would have to foreclose or being part of the foreclosure for these properties. But yeah, I didn't feel it like an investor I am right now. I didn't feel it like a lot of investors, but I have a lot of friends who've been investing for about 20 years and they said it was just, it was a shift. People got hurt. There were people who were worth $10 million that went down to zero, almost overnight. So, but the same thing you've already kind of mentioned on that was if you had that mindset and you willing to go for it again, those people got right back up on top 2012, 13, when things started to turn around. They were there with it because of the knowledge they were able to pull from back then.
That's so good. Talk to me about the separation between the businesses. Are you doing any flips right now, or is it basically split between the agent side of things, selling real estate, as well as the rev management piece of it? Are those the two bread and butter, or are you doing some flips on the side as well?
Yeah, we're closing out some of our flips. We made the conscious decision last year would be like, we're done with flipping, so we just got to get a few off the books. Okay. We have a commercial build we're doing right now. We're going to get that off the books.
Cool.
And at least temporarily, as I mentioned, money's one thing, but I really get excited when we're great at something versus just kind of moving through the day to day and making more mistakes because you're trying to do too many things.
Yep.
So I'm just hyper focused on synergy stays and revenue management. I saw this opening about a couple years ago. We were one of the leading companies in the industry to start doing this.
Yep.
Where short-term rental business is changing. It used to be you hire property management, a one-stop shop. 2020 to 2023, you could make money in your sleep with short-term rentals. Now, just like anything else, whether it's flipping or buying rentals, it's not easy anymore. So now you have to be great at it in order to succeed. So I see the industry changing, and I started about a couple of years ago, me and my partners, and we were seeing it being like, if you need to be great at the guest experience, you need to be great at the revenue management, and you need to be great at marketing these higher end properties.
Marketing. Yes.
Yep. And if you're just a one-stop shop property manager, most likely they're probably great at guest experience because that's what most of them are.
Yep.
But they're not great at the revenue management. They might be good at it, or they might great at marketing, they might be good at it. So we said, you know what? We think this is going to start to compartmentalize, break down, and people are going to hire experts in each specific niche.
Yep.
So let's double down in what we're great at, which is the revenue management. Let's help people maximize their revenue potential. So that's all we're focused on right now. We don't do anything on the guest experience. We actually don't even touch marketing. We work with people on both sides that are experts in their lanes.
Wow.
And we stay in our lane.
That's so good. I love that. I totally believe in staying focused in one thing. And obviously that's one of your key words for the year too, which is also like lock in with what you're great at. And you can bring a dream team together and just over communicate, full transparency to be able to pull off the incredible experience that you guys have. So talk to me about the team size. What does that look like?
So right now there's 7 of us. Got a couple people on the client solution side with my team. We got some onboarding specialists that help out with marketing and onboarding on that side of things. And then we have a revenue management team that's handling the revenue management side for our clients.
Cool. I love it. And then to be able to build up 150 units now at this point, managing for others, how did you market for that? How did you get into that space?
So it took a while. It took some time. Obviously, you got to build trust.
Yep.
The funny part about our business model is not only is it trust building, which is all sales 101, but it's also educating people on what exactly revenue management is and why we're different than the one-stop shop. They're like, oh, my manager already handles revenue, or I've already have price labs, so I have a pricing tool that's handling my revenue management. And trying to educate someone on how that industry is changing is so key. So it's been gradual growth. It's been, going to events, talking to people, being involved in masterminds. I'm sure you talk about this all the time, but networking, just being in the rooms, talking to people, letting them know what you do. And then just as equally as important is providing an amazing service. So we're not the cheapest. We don't claim to be the cheapest. We want to be someone who goes 4 levels deeper than your average revenue manager. So we're out doing comprehensive revenue strategy approaches, meaning non-pricing levers, as well as pricing levers. Everybody knows pricing. We're going to price your property on, Airbnb, VRBO. Yep. We're going to use some merchandising, meaning we're going to use some of the discounts and those levers to pull so that we could make someone feel like they're getting a deal where you're going to be booked quicker than someone who has the same exact nightly rate, but they're not doing the merchandising part. We're going to help you on non-pricing levers, like what's your cancellation policy? Let's optimize your listing. Like your average length of stay. We're going to talk about your reviews, your bio, and there's so many different facets to your property that may not necessarily be the pricing part, but they're absolutely important to maximizing your the opportunity for your property.
I love that. What other softwares would somebody need to really set themselves up for success that maybe others out there aren't utilizing for Airbnb short-term rentals?
Yeah, so it just depends on where you're at. I kind of started talking about is hey, are you going to handle the guest experience and partner up with someone, like us on the revenue side? Are you going to handle the revenue side and partner with someone on the guest experience side? And then what do you need from there? So I'll talk about our end of things. So our pricing tech that we use is Price Labs.
Yep.
We also have a couple other softwares that we use like RankBreeze and things of that nature to see where people, stand on their rankings. Sure. Because no matter how well you price your property, if you're on page 8 or 10, you're not getting booked.
Not good. Yeah.
Not getting booked. So yeah, it just really depends. And right now there's so much technology out there when it comes to guest communications, property management softwares, things. The one piece of advice I'd give anybody is if you're starting off or if you ever view properties, don't try to do everything at once. Just take it in order. Make sure your guest experience, your communication is by far the best you can be in the game. Come on. And then partner with someone in the other areas, whether it's partner with someone that knows marketing, revenue management, or if you like the revenue side, partner with someone that can give the best guest experience ever. And then you could take care of your pricing levers and all that. So just figure out who that is and work with them and then just be the expert in your area.
So good. Now, you mentioned you're not the cheapest. Roughly, what does that look like for you guys? Because I know that you gave me a tip earlier that maybe you would be open to sharing with the public here, but there's a strategy that you actually helped add an additional covering, basically, of 1 whole year of kind of the service fee that you guys naturally charge. So what does that look like? And then if you don't mind sharing the tip for some of the audience.
Yeah. You can go on our website, synergystayslocal.com, and you can see pricing. We have a whole pricing structure there, but it starts at anywhere from, $175 to $250 a month. For larger operators with 50 plus units, we actually have, special pricing for that we talk outside of that. Cool. All the pricing tiers are right in there. And we have a detailed checklist of everything that you get from us for that fee. Cool. And we're right in line. We're not super.
I was going to say that's very reasonable. That's very reasonable. Yeah,
exactly. Especially when, like you were just saying, so our revenue management team, they were working on something behind the scenes in January because anybody who has a short-term rental knows that a lot of weekdays get booked last minute.
Yes.
So we were seeing this and we were like, hey, how do we change that? How do we get bookings for weekdays further out so people aren't filling it last minute with huge discounts?
Come on.
So they implemented some good strategies when it came to those orphan nights, and they don't know every lever they pulled. My team's amazing. Yeah. But they implemented a few strategies on back end through Price Labs and Airbnb and VRBO. And they were able to get the average weekday occupancy up in the month of March for our clients up 23% year over year.
And 23% just in 1 month. Oh my gosh. Come on.
Just weekdays. The weekdays. So that got them about another, on average, anywhere between $2,600 and over $3,000 extra just in that month for the weekday booking. So most folks, based on the pricing, they're paying for our service in 1 month.
That could literally be the difference between your business being profitable or not. Correct. It's that's a big difference right there. I love that.
Yeah, I have one person. I got to brag real quick on this. I love it. I love getting the text. She has a property up in Outer Banks, and she made 120 grand last year.
Come on.
And already on the books this year, she has 145,000. This a couple weeks ago on the books already for this year. So literally what you just said,
Just in the first quarter?
yeah, in the bookings for the year, but in the first quarter, she's already got it all booked up. She's already beating last year by 25K, which was the difference between losing a little bit of money and now being profitable, which made me feel super happy.
Oh my gosh. Let's go.
This is why people partner with experts in each area, because you can't look at it, a revenue management, as an expense. Our whole goal is to drive revenue. That's all it is.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Dan, talk to me, because I've had a bunch of Airbnbs in the past, and I've tried out several different companies. We ran it ourselves back in the day when it was easier to run. And then we started noticing that we weren't keeping up with it. The software was changing online, and we had to keep up with that to make sure that our listing was being seen and other things. And then eventually we hired on what we thought to be professionals to be able to handle things. And it just ended up being a nightmare and two different experiences, to the point that we said enough is enough. We're just going to switch and do long term.
Yep.
And some of the properties, there's actually, even a loss on that, which that doesn't feel good, but it feels better than taking a loss every single month for several months in a row and dealing with headaches of company. So talk to me about maybe some tips and tricks that you guys have used to get your exposure. And also, I'm sure you've heard that broken record sob story from others in the past. How do you guys actually separate yourself from others and stand out to actually not just do what you say, but as a true expert, handle your business in that department?
Yep. So I think one of the biggest things is, I started off saying this, there are companies that do pricing, and then there are revenue managers. And then what we like to say, we're comprehensive revenue managers. So we have even that next layer.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're not a one-trick pony that does everything, right? You're like, you do one focus on it, and then you've partnered up with, other experts in the space to do basically the dream team together.
Correct. So when you're bringing someone like us, and you should ask questions like this, like, we have any one of our clients on a quarterly basis can talk to the revenue manager that's dealing at their account, and that revenue manager is going to tell you what the strategy is, what we're A/B testing, and give you an idea for the next 3 months. Here's the strategy, and here's what we're going towards. We do a lot of A/B testing on things, and what I mean by that is, we'll take properties in a market, we'll have one strategy on one strategy on another. We're going to test it over a couple of weeks. We're going to see which one's working. And then once we figure out what works best, we double down and lean into that area. We are making sure you're optimized, not just optimize your listing by changing a picture order and a title. We're going to check, did it create more clicks? Did those clicks become more bookings?
You guys are looking at the KPIs. You're looking at the whole thing, data-driven decisions.
Data-driven decisions, jumping in there. I mean, revenue management's an art and a science. The pricing tech software is all the science. You need to be an artist in this game. And again, that's why we charge a little bit more, because guess what? We have a revenue manager that has daily, weekly, and monthly cash flow rhythms that they're constantly doing in order to have eyes on your property and bring it to its maximum revenue. One of the things is, every Monday morning, we look at all the bookings over the weekend. Where did we hit on? Where did we miss on? What could we have done better? And then we make adjustments based on that, or we double down again on the strategy that's working. Constantly looking at the data and making adjustments, because anybody knows the short-term rental world, it's been changing a lot. Yeah, it's going to continue to change. And if you're not adapting constantly, that's why probably you had the struggles is, sometimes people just implement a strategy and let it just sit because that's easier and more cost effective, but it's not what's best.
No.
So that's why we refuse to do that. We want to continually be looking and adjusting and making adaptations and making sure that we're truly doing what's best for our clients, and including, we're going to Airbnb released in October. Here's a nugget for listeners. I think it was October, something about the cancellation policy. Well, anybody who kept a strict cancellation policy, that is going to affect your algorithm. I'm not saying you have to go to the loosest cancellation policy, but maybe go one step lower, and it's actually going to get you more exposure.
Wow.
Little things like that. Like, it used to be Superhost was what you wanted. Now you want to be guest favorite. Guest favorite is actually helping out with the algorithm more than we're seeing Superhost, because everybody in their, sister-in-law is a Superhost. So
nothing too crazy.
Exactly. And your pictures for your property and your pictures, have 30 to 50 pictures. We're seeing that that's tracking to help the algorithm better than you might have 28 pictures. We have a few clients that come at like 25, 28. Don't force it. But if you can get to that 30 to 50, get some action photos, like really go above and beyond, that's going to help your algorithm. So it's like your length of stay. A lot of people want a minimum length of stay of like 3 or 4 nights. I'll give you this example. We have a client out in Texas, 4-night minimum length of stay. We told him bring it down to 2 nights, and he was freaking out. He's like, I don't want 2-night bookings. We're like, trust us.
Yeah.
And then we started using length of stay discounts. We grew his average length of stay by about a day, and he made an additional $22,000 in his 4 properties in the last quarter of last year. So like, and he came back to us. He goes, all right, I give it to you. I thought lowering my length of stay was going to hurt.
Surrender.
Yeah. So it's just constantly testing these strategies. And we did that by testing it. You know, what is the better strategy? We were able to get more eyes on the listing by having the lower length of stay, but the length of stay discounts got us the longer length of stays. So
good.
It's constantly doing those types of strategies. Yep.
Dan, talk to me with the economy and people, maybe hurting out there financially, not everybody, but, nationwide and maybe not traveling as much. Do you feel like there's any pushback from that, or are you guys up to the challenge and just you guys are adapting and staying up to speed on these different levers of marketing and just getting it out there to the right people?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I like telling all of our clients, all right, listen, you have one property and you have 365 nights to book. Let's say you're going to book 300 nights. Let's just keep it easy, nice and simple. Your average length of stay is 3 nights, realistic. Yep. You need 100 people to book your short-term rental in a year. You don't need thousands. You don't need 10,000. You don't need 1 million. Yep. You need 100 people. So stand out to those 100 people that you want. We just need to market and make sure we know your avatar. And we're marketing to your avatar on these OTAs when it comes to description, when it comes to amenities, when it comes to picture order. You really want to be targeting the avatar you're going after, whether it's a family, whether it's Star Wars theme, you want Star Wars, it's going out there, whatever it is. Yeah. Like that's why we talk about merchandising. We look at our short-term rentals as we do revenue management as merchandising. We want to appeal to the right customer. We don't care, like pricing's pricing, but if you're not merchandising to appeal to that right customer, then you're missing out on possible revenue. So that is what I tell, people that are in this, so they're struggling. And we've seen in the market, and I think AirDNA gave this update last year of, those luxury properties are actually doing a lot better than last year. And then the accommodation type properties or the lower end properties are struggling.
Yep.
So now it's not a flip. You don't need to have the nice kitchen pictures and all that stuff. Like, how can you stand out in your market? Do a market analysis. Call us up. We'll help you do a market analysis. Look at the things that you can do and add to your listing to help drive revenue. It doesn't necessarily have to be a pool or a hot tub. It could be the smallest thing that a couple little tweaks, and all of a sudden you're additional 5, 10, 15 grand a year on your property.
So good. I love that. Any other struggles that you've experienced over the years with real estate or short-term rentals that could potentially help the listeners avoid?
Yeah, I've struggled. I've had some big wins on flips. I'm not afraid to say this. I've made $1 million on one flip, and then I've also lost $50K. I'm about to lose 50 or 60K on one flip right now that I just can't get off the books.
Yeah.
So
part of the game.
Yeah, I think the best advice I can give you is what I did is my biggest mistake. I got shiny object syndrome, and I try to do everything like we started talking about.
Yep.
Pick a lane and just go all in that lane. I think that's
good.
I wish I just did that earlier, because I'd be so great in that one lane. I'd still make mistakes, but way less because I'm focused on one thing.
That's so good, man. I love that. I've been talking to more people recently that are just beginning to feel that entrepreneur bug, and you could tell they're a hardcore visionary. They got all these ideas, all these different things that they want to do. Excellent. Like that. I love that. I love that spirit. I think laser beam focused, the individual that chases 3 rabbits typically catches none, or it's a hell of a mess, trying to catch them. And so you could be so much more direct. And, somebody told me the other day, like, I'll do this, and, because why not? And it's like, well, because you're going to, have no sanity afterwards. And maybe you could just make a boatload focusing on this one thing. And so I think there's a lot of clarity and peace, and maybe you got to go through the ringer like you did and like I have in the past by trying all these things. But ideally, the listeners can learn from our mistakes and not have to repeat that craziness again by just staying laser beam focused on the one thing and give it enough time, give it enough space, and go all in with excellence to see what it can actually do for you, your family, your finances, and your future.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, and I'm sure people like me, like before I had 1,000 things to do a day, so I felt productive and I was busy. Now I probably have 3 or 4 things to do a day, but they're way higher level. Like it's talk to an affiliate that we're going to be doing business together with versus dealing with a bunch of fires that I'm probably creating as an owner, but dealing with all those fires. So I think that's huge. It's funny. It's like, it's hard at first when you don't have as many items on your plate. You feel unproductive, or at least I did. I'll speak for myself.
Sure.
However, every time something lands, it moves me 5 or 10 steps ahead versus a half a step.
Completely different, right? Less chaos. Yeah.
Less chaos. Yep.
That's so good. Dan, how can the listeners get a hold of you?
Yep. You could go to our website. It's synergystayslocal.com. Again, that's synergystayslocal.com. If you want us to just take a look at your property, we could run a revenue analysis. If you're looking to buy a property, we could take a look at a market for you. However we can add value to you, we're happy to do so.
And then, brother, you just gave a good amount of time to me and the listeners. Anything that we could do to be able to give back to you?
Just send people my way. You know, we're looking to grow our business right now. We have a really good foundation. As I told you, we have seven employees on 150 units. So, I mean, we built a good foundation to give a high level of service as we grow versus grow too quick and that service level drops. So we're ready to grow.
Come on. I love it. Guys, you hear that? If you have any real estate properties, if you're looking to do more short-term rentals, if you want to hire on the best of the best and be able to eliminate all the stress and the headaches and winging it like a majority of people are doing out there, trust me when I tell you this, you're going to want to reach out to Dan and his team to be able to at least have a conversation and get a breakdown of what the options could be for you and see if it's a good fit. And so I highly encourage, reach out to Dan. He's a wealth of knowledge, been in the game for a long time, here to bless you. And if you guys want to get a hold of me, you can always do so on Instagram. It's Brandon Elliott Investments, or our business page, Credit Counsel Elite on Instagram. DM me there. Happy to communicate and connect with you guys. If you're looking for funding, what we do at Credit Counsel Elite is help you get up to $500,000 with interest rates as low as 0%. All right. How to be able to repeat that every 6 months per person, getting up to 90% approval odds, the highest limits possible, and the best terms and conditions, any type of financial products that these banks offer. But of course, 0% interest, you know, it's going to be in the form of credit card. So if you are interested in that, reach out to us. We would be honored to help you guys out. Simply go to creditcounselelite.com. That's creditcounselelite.com. And you can book a call with myself or somebody on our team. Okay. Love you guys all so much. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast so you get the newest notification every single Monday. Leave that 5-star review after listening to a few. Love all you guys and appreciate you for leaving those reviews. Share this out. Sharing is caring, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Cool. Awesome, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Anything I can do for you?
Do you guys have a podcast?
I just did, you know, it's funny. I did, and I kind of put it by the back burner so I could do all this stuff I used to do Compound Mindset, talk about mindset.
Yeah, I love it.
Always talking about mindset. But no, I mean, but anything I can do to promote you. I know you got obviously you got the credit card game there you got going. It's a good one. I could throw people away.
Yeah, if you have any communities or affiliates or people that we could get in front of to help promote and show people, that's how we got started. We invest in real estate, doing the BRRRR strategy all through credit cards. So nice. And out here in San Diego where it's all $1 million plus, so it gets fun.
I'm gonna be out your area. Actually, I got a mastermind. I'm out there, Oceanside in June, early June.
Oceanside, I'm in Carlsbad. I'm like, it's like 5-10 minutes away.
Jeez, you're right out in the corner. Yeah,
come on.
Yep. You ever hear of Legacy Family?
Legacy Family? No.
Yeah, so we're going to be out there. We're going to be out there with some collective genius people and do a nice mastermind out there.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, when you're in the area, hit me up. Would love to connect. And if there's anything that I can do for you, let me know as well. But again, I greatly appreciate you jumping on today. It was a fire episode.
100%. Yeah. You know anybody with short-term rentals you can connect me with? I appreciate you.
All right, man. God bless.
All right. See you. Thanks, man. Later.
Bye.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.